Mondays to Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
Hello and welcome to yet another edition of this program in the newsroom. My name is Abiodun Olalere. The declaration of All Progressive Congress APC governorship candidate as the winner of the Adamawa State supplementary election by that state resident electoral commissioner Malam Hudu Junisa Hari, as expected, has continued to occupy conspicuous space in our national polity. That will be the first issue we'll be taking a look at on the program today. And still within the same realm, there were reports of violence, ballot snatching, and other forms of infractions during the last Saturday's supplementary elections across the country. The question is, can Nigeria have elections without violence? That will be our second topic. And still talking politics, 207 billion naira may have been expended on 68 million Nigerians who registered to vote in the 2023 general elections. But for one reason or the other, many of the registered voters do not exercise their responsibility. About 25 million Nigerians were said to have voted during the presidential election, and about 21 million Nigerians during the governorship election. So these are the issues we are taking a look at on today's edition of this program. You are welcome once again, and the team is set. Let me welcome Murita Lagbola into the newsroom. You are welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, Nigerians.
It's
always a pleasure being with you in the newsroom.
And Kayode Adebe is also in the newsroom. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, viewers.
So, let's start. Let me start with you, rather. When you saw the clips or you heard the news, what was your immediate reaction when the REC announced the APC candidate as the winner? I mean, you saw how it all happened.
Yes.
We have the video clip there. Maybe we should take a look at that. The MCR or VTR. Let's take a look at that video.
Yes.
What is your reaction watching that clip?
It was sad. If you like, a disbelief and despicable. Now, in the first instance, it isn't the duty of the REC to announce election results. That is one. Secondly, and more importantly, was the fact that by the time the vote finished and they were collating up to 1 a.m. on Saturday evening, they agreed to reconvene
That was Sunday morning.
Sunday morning at 11 a.m. But this drama we just watched took place around 7 a.m.
7 or 9?
9. 9, sorry, 9.
9 a.m.
Now, which is contrary to the agreed time. But the unfortunate aspect was that there were some security officials there. They ought not to be there. They should have questioned the man. Where is the collation or the returning officer? It is the duty of the returning officer, after everything has been collated, to announce the results. That's one. Secondly, and more importantly, was the fact that out of 20 local government, they were through with only 10. Now, this man came with a small sheet of paper to come and announce on whose authority did he do that. He could not have done that because it's a wreck. So this is what we talk about, the impunity in the land. Because people believe they can do anything and get away with it. So it's very sad that such a development took place.
The wreck did not give us or did not announce the figure scored by the APC candidate. He only announced the figure received by the PDP candidate. And that will be about the first time that result will also, or winner will be declared while standing. I mean, in the past, you see the coalition returning officer sitting majestically with all paraphernalia, but this is not the case.
Well, is a follow-up to the reign of impunity in the land. You see, to say that Nigeria is condescending to the abyss of a banana republic might be an understatement. But that is not even the crux of the matter. Government in itself has oftentimes engaged in acts of subversion and concealment of subversion. You would say, what do I mean by that? People will see what is happening that is subversive, that is anti-government. Government will be informed, but no action will be taken. People will go kill, maim, destroy. Arrests will be made. They will be taken.
So
thereafter,
this is where it will all end.
That is it. So, no, this is where it will all end. But that is what encouraged it. That after all, you can do anything and get away with it. That is the mentality of our politicians. They believe once you have a connection with those in authority, anything you do, you can get away with it. Children, girls, where were the deterrent measures taken? Or killings? What happened to those who were arrested? All you hear is arrest, arrest, arrest. And then nothing happens.
Okay, Saki, just some few minutes after the wreck announced the candidate of the APC as the winner, he delivered what could be said to be an acceptance speech. That was also widely reported. She could have prepared for it at her race. She's also in the race, or she was also in the race.
Well, I think it's a kind of syndicate. And the lady was the person around whom that syndicate was moving. Because the speed with which she was found making acceptance speech somewhere outside the collation center, makes one to be very suspicious that it was a kind of syndicate. And the wreck man, I've tried to go into his profile. I have not seen his profile to know whether maybe he was one of the latest wreck commissioners whose screening and approval were given by the Senate, the last set. You see, but the fact of the case is that he tried to play the fast game. And information has it that some money has changed hands. Some people are talking of 2 billion naira has changed hands. Because you see the kind of desperation which this man demonstrated to get the result announced. So there is more to it than just ordinary. And you see, I think the luck we have is that the luck we had is that the announcement was not made by the returning officer. If the returning officer had made the announcement, it would have stayed. All what the INEC will tell their group is go to court. But one way or the other, the returning officer was on the same page with him. He stayed away, and that saved the situation. And also, I think you must commend the INEC headquarters for acting promptly. He was asked to report in Abuja immediately. And as one of my colleagues said, very unfortunately, we found some security agents sitting with him, committing illegality, providing cover for him. when our attempt was made on pouncing on demand, I think I saw a police officer who was trying to protect him from being manhandled. So you see, it's a sad commentary, and that man should be handled with all the seriousness he deserves. He's a threat to democracy. He's a danger to our democracy, and he must, as one of the parties has recommended, he must be prosecuted.
Okay, the information reaching us now is that the REC, Malam Udu Junusa Ali, has been suspended by the national headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the administrative secretary had been asked to take over the affairs of that commission in that state. Will you say that?
I think it should go beyond suspension. Let me just add that it should go beyond suspension. Yes.
But one will come after the other.
Let's hope so. Because somebody was suspended in Sokoto during the governorship or whatever. You have not heard anything about him. So this one also is likely to render that. It goes beyond suspension.
But a while ago, Sake said he could not be able to trace the record of the man. Now he has also mentioned Sokoto Red too. We are talking of Adamawa now. Within this short space, who had the caliber of people that are appointed or selected, as the case may be, to man our elections?
You see, the normal processes, the president makes the appointment.
But before making the appointments, who make recommendations?
No, I'm coming. If whoever makes it is even to me is immaterial. But it goes through the screening of the National Assembly. Yeah. But that is where the...
And the DSS too.
So, yes. Now, I listened to one man from Yaga this morning on a medium, and he was saying that the civil society organizations did profiling of some of these people, and they recommended that some of them should not be taken on board.
Yes.
But unfortunately, they ignored the council, the advice. So this is part of the problem we are having. Now, the National Assembly, they also compromise. The president cannot choose to appoint anybody. But I think, you see, I have looked at the National Assembly, and I think we are wasting, I'm sorry if I'm using a harsh word. Okay, we are spending too much on the National Assembly.
We are not getting the...
We are not getting the... Yes. So, because ordinarily, they ought to have consultants who on this type of job, sensitive and very serious jobs like this, their consultant has to do a background check. The DSS also has to do a background check. They must do the profiling of it. Now, a body recommended that some of these people should not be taken on board. Unfortunately, you take your bow and go. So, they now found themselves in this situation. Now, going forward, and you see, unfortunately, some of these people are from the academics.
I think Alat is a lawyer.
Yes, he's a lawyer. But some of them...
so you should understand the law.
That is it. Besides being a lawyer, he's a very elderly person with green hairs all over the place. They beat him and then tore his...
No, it was not the one
sorry. The other mistake that came to support him. Two of them. No,
somebody who knew he has done something will quickly disappear.
Now, so, but going forward, we need to be very careful and we need to do a thorough job.
Okay, Brown. Earlier today, there was a protest in Yola, Adamawa State, by the PDP. And that party is demanding for continuation of coalition and of course its conclusion. And the party has also reacted officially, even from the presidential candidate of that party, who is also a native of that state. The comments he passed across were not so commendable, though it is expected. How do you see the reaction of PDP?
Well, the reaction of PDP is expected.
Yes.
Because the element of complicity is clear. That, as one of our speakers have earlier said, there was this issue of underground acts. And the woman declared winner already knew. So he had even prepared her acceptance speech. And you see the way the speech was delivered. So the spate of impunity that played out within the short period of declaration and condemnation shows that a lot needs to be done to sanitize our electoral system. But then, that is that. The truth is, there is a yawning gap between the leadership and the followership. The followership is praying and expecting leadership or rulers that will cater for their welfare and create conducive environment for sustainable development, while those in power, the ruling class, is only concerned with their acquisitive tendency. All they want is how to acquire more and more wealth. Those who elected them and how they can do the needful to satisfy them. So that has been the problem on ground. And so the need to sanitize the polity has become more imperative now. Otherwise, we will continue to go around this and it will be like a merry-go-round. There will be no solution. Talking of a solution, you can't bring any above solution when people decide to do things without recourse to law. What happened was an aberration. No order and breach of protocol. They did all that they did with total impunity, knowing that others have done it, and what happened? Even when lives are lost, when properties are destroyed, and people are arrested, what happens?
Okay, Saki, we must also talk about this. I have had some people, in fact, a senator representing, APC senator representing Adamawa State. The man was Abu. I saw him on the national TV. And some other people claiming that since a winner had been announced, the next thing is for anybody to go to court. The aggrieved party should go to court. And they were quick to refer to section 149 of the Electoral Act. And that act says, notwithstanding any other provisions of this act, any defect or error arising from any actions taken by an